Whew. So, I've been thinking a lot, and I've been reading a lot, and actually, yesterday, we ran into a group of teenagers from a scout group that's actually from Florida, from Tampa, Troop 339, and one of the girls, Bella, and one of the boys, Emmanuel, both asked me why I'm doing this. And I didn't want to trauma dump on teenagers, but it finally really made me realize and see that it's time to stop trying to make this recording perfect and just finally get the message out there, just in case there are any young girls or women out there that, or just anyone that's dealing with trauma and carrying things that are not theirs to carry. In my process of reading this book, The Mountain Is You, one of the parts that really resonated recently with me was the part about your past and regretting your past and how to overcome past traumas and thoughts. And one of the things that really stuck out was you can't just get over your past. You have to process it. And out here, I've been able to process deeply each feeling that I thought was meant to be associated with my trauma. And once you process those feelings, you can move forward. For instance, if you're feeling shame, if you process, what am I shameful of? What did I do in that situation? What was my fault? And then you realize a lot of things that, hey, I'm carrying shame and I shouldn't be. I'm not shameful. I was shameful of what happened to me, but I did not do anything to feel ashamed of. The abuser did. The abuser should be the one that's carrying that shame. If you're feeling guilt, process that feeling. What am I feeling guilt for? What am I carrying guilt about? And if there's something that you feel like you need to apologize for, like I feel like I carry guilt for the pain that I caused my family after my trauma, the people that I walked away from, the people that I pushed away. I really feel guilt for everything after my trauma. But once I process that, I realize I feel no guilt towards what actually happened to me, and so on. So yes, I'm out here for rebirth. I told them that much, and metamorphosis. But the reason is because I can actually process out here alone with Mother Nature by myself. I'm finally feeling and seeing my trauma for what it is, and I'm shedding all that. I'm not carrying anymore. So I want to actually read an excerpt from my journal because I feel like I was really just processing this day in particular. I have not reread it again since, and you guys will be the first people I reread this to. Let's see. All right. I didn't realize it was this many pages. All right. So I'm just going to kind of read this, and hopefully it'll give you guys an idea of the trauma that I've been carrying for almost 20 years now, and I have been silent about, and we are not going to be silent anymore. We are going to hopefully inspire everyone, every person that's been through something, everyone that's carrying something that isn't theirs, every person that's hiding or covering or masking their trauma. I want you to release it and This was my release. So I'm just going to read it to you guys. All right. Okay, I can do this. All right. It's been over a week since I've journaled. So much has happened, and now I'm in Roan Mountains, Tennessee, the highest point so far on my hike. I stayed at Uncle Johnny's hostel for 3 days. I met Reggie on Big Bald, and I had the most awakening conversation with him. Life-changing scenarios. Crazy how we even met up there. 2 black people, both not even supposed to be at that spot at that moment, but were both pulled there and then met. Voices or circumstances to follow our guts led us to that spot. I've been doing a lot of releasing, talking openly about my trauma, and I'm noticing the shame and guilt from it shedding. I'm noticing the shame and guilt from it shedding a little more each time I tell my story. I even shared it with men for the first time. Same reaction as the women, sad and so sorry that it happened to me. It's actually comforting. Hold on. It's actually comforting knowing I truly have no shame to carry. That always felt so hard to believe. I was so disgusted with the men who touched me that I became disgusted with myself for them ever even being with me in the first place. As if I allowed it somehow. I think for a while I thought that I did, just because I was so scared or too scared to run sooner. Because I didn't say no and fight sooner. I don't remember them all. And I was drugged daily with what I don't even know. Felt numb and dizzy constantly. I think maybe that's even what helped me think, fuck it, I'll try to escape that day. Sober me was just a silent, scared 16-year-old that was so naive to believe I could just get the dream model job by just showing up. I was embarrassed by that as much as the men that chose me. The thought that I was going to make it, I really believed it. The Johns, that's now why I present as fearless. That's why now I present as fearless, untouchable, admired, so that no one would ever sense my shame. No one would ever think that something's wrong with me or who hurt you. No one would ever think I would just let any man touch me. I can be proud of the girl that I can be proud of that girl that ran and screamed, then fought for her life, my life. That girl who allowed the rape kit to be done in the hospital to hope that one day he would be caught, even when I was too scared to speak up. When I think back to that day in the hospital, I wanted to fight so hard. Then the police questioning and knowing that he wasn't caught took over, and I just wanted to disappear. And I wanted the memory of it all to disappear with it. I ran from myself, those who loved me and wanted to help me. I even ran from my daughter for a time. I ran to the clubs, to the alcohol, and to create new personas to be admired every day and night with bartending. I dated only people of a certain status to make all those other men feel I was unattainable, and therefore never would have allowed any man to rape me repeatedly for no other reason than being scared. Now I show no fear. Now I'll fight anyone just to prove that I'm untouchable. I became whoever I needed to be. to never be asked what's wrong. I didn't want to be asked, who hurt you? My answer came with too much baggage. So I hid, become someone else, and never look back. That's what I told myself for 20 years. I didn't know myself for 20 years. And that was what I felt protected me from ever feeling the shame and guilt I felt was attached to my trauma, like an armor. But with each layer, it just got heavier. Now the shame I feel is allowing him to get away as long as he has. The only guilt I feel is being silent so long that this has now happened to other minors. I want his ass caught and held accountable. Yes. But I also want every predator taking advantage of the naivety and dreams of teenage and minor girls to know I'm putting it all out there in the hopes that the other girls will see the signs sooner. I'm telling their game and what to listen and look for, because unfortunately, there were men who took advantage of my entire childhood, even before this trauma happened. And because as little girls, confused, not knowing who or how to tell, we rationalize and somehow make it okay for those monsters. They know we will either feel too ashamed or too scared to speak up. Not anymore. I empower myself to not be silent. I encourage any woman and any girl to put down your shame. It is not yours. Put down your trauma. It is not your fault. It is time to forgive yourself for being scared. Anyone in your position would have been. And if you think you wouldn't, please don't speak unless you have been there. This was a moment in my life. This moment will not be my life anymore. I am freeing myself and anyone else from guilt. Children should be allowed to be children without their minds being warped into believing that they are the problem. Children should be allowed to be naive. These predators will not be allowed to take advantage of that anymore on my watch. And to the women that feel stuck or are helping these men get the other girls to believe these lies and putting them in this position. First, I wish you will open your eyes. How could you watch a minor woman go through that just to please a man? Second, I want you to have justice too, for turning a blind eye and hand delivering me and my dreams to your pimp. I want you to pay for every traffic victim that's died or been killed or killed themselves after what's been done to them in these situations. I know I did not want to live either until I got pregnant with my daughter. And her father did try to love the pain and hurt away. He let me ignore it as long as I could, but I couldn't believe anyone could love me, even him. How could you still love me after that? Not the same way. It would just be impossible. No one could, is what I told myself. Had we not had my daughter, I wouldn't be here. I couldn't even believe my own mother could love me anymore. I felt like an embarrassment, an idiot. I felt her guilt every time for letting me go. Every time there was a silence or sadness. And that made me feel even worse. I felt everyone would be better without me, except for my daughter, Lovely. I knew that I would protect her with every ounce of my being. I knew that no one else could protect her from anything like this ever happening the way that I could. I knew I was loved again, unconditionally, and needed again. And that made me live. It made me want to live. I didn't live right all the time, but it made me fight again. I hope telling my story gives that armor or a little protection to the next woman or miner that is out there that's been through something or that is blaming themselves for anything that was never your fault to begin with. You are innocent, you are free from guilt, and you are loved. I just want to put the names out there. Thelonious Reed, aka Big Red, I believe from Chicago, you will be served justice. Blasian and Angel, Maryville, Illinois, the girls that were with him that recruited me, you will be given justice. Thank you, Taylor Dervish, the FBI agent that is working on this case, and that let me know that there is another miner that just went through this. Luckily, she was not left for dead, but 6 years is not enough time for what this man has done, apparently repeatedly for 20 years. I was left for dead. I was left with my jaw broken in 4 places, my face unrecognizable, repeatedly raped and choked out on a bathroom floor until I was unconscious. He threw away all of the evidence, the sheets with the blood, the blankets. The police did find that. It's all a part of my case. And I am looking forward to all who will be held accountable by karma, if nothing else can get you. For what you've done, for what you've participated in, I will not be silent anymore. I am speaking out, and I won't stop now.